Alright, one of Donald Trump's core promises on the campaign trail was to pardon the January 6th insurrectionists on the day that he took office. Within hours, he will pardon all of the people who broke into our Capitol building and tried to interrupt the peaceful transfer of power. Now, the reason why I'm making this point is because this creates the permission structure for other right-wing extremists across the country to commit crimes, to be vile, to be racist, and they know that Daddy Trump will have their back, that they can be pardoned, that there is a whole community out there who will bail them out or will help them. And that is what I want to talk about today, because we are seeing that manifest on the ground in multiple ways. I want to show you this clip of a student getting kicked out of his college class for telling an immigrant that he can't wait till he gets kicked out, something to that effect. But also, in my hometown, in Indiana, and in other places around the Midwest, these KKK flyers saying "leave now and avoid deportation" were just stapled on posts and handed out at doorways and put in mailboxes. The KKK now feels more emboldened than ever, and we have a lot to break down. Make sure you drop a like, make sure you subscribe, and let's jump in with the video of this kid getting kicked out of his college class at A&M. This person on Twitter said, "Trump supporter finds himself in an organic chemistry class at Texas A&M. The material is too hard, so he starts ranting about how another guy is an immigrant. This is a very common road to becoming a MAGA, just feeling socially isolated in one way." But also, I like how he says, Trump supporter finds himself in organic chemistry class. Like they're not supposed to be there in the first place. But let's watch this video, then I'll break it down.
Okay, I'm going to give you one more warning, and I'm going to ask you to leave. Okay? All right? Good boy. All right.
So everybody wanted the context and story time of the video that I uploaded yesterday. So here's the context. As y'all know, I like going to different classes. I've made multiple videos in random classes. So this class, I went to this random class. Apparently it was a Chem 119 class, which is a freshman level chemistry class. And the teacher was talking, and this student came in, started asking random questions, putting his hand up, saying rubbish. As y'all can see by the clip, the teacher gave him a warning, and then he did it again, and then he did it a third time, and another student confronted him and told him to, like, you're disturbing the class, told him to relax. And you can see what the student replied to about
Average Trump supporter right here can't pay attention in class, so turns racist. Let me play this one more time. It's kind of hard to hear, so I'll just tell you what they're saying. Another student says, "Stop, bro, I'm trying to study." He basically says, "Stop messing with me." And the Trump supporter says, "You're an immigrant. Trump's in office, and let me play it and amp up the audio for you.
Can you stop, man? I'm trying to
He says, "Trump is president. He can kick you out. Shut up, immigrant." Lord have mercy. Let me just say, the immigrant who he is speaking to, if the dude's even an immigrant, I don't know how he knows that, but is totally in the right here. All he says is, "Brother, can you please stop?" He literally says it in a friendly way. "Brother, can you please stop? I'm trying to study." And this Trump supporter was on his third strike, and then the teacher begins to call security. There's a more extended version of the clip. The teacher calls security. The Trump supporter gets kicked out of class. It is absolutely absurd how emboldened these people feel. And, if that's not enough evidence for you, let me talk about my hometown in Indiana. I currently live and go to school in Chicago. I work out of Chicago, but I grew up in Northwest Indiana, and these flyers were passed out. Before we break down the flyers, this article is titled "Ku Klux Klan Flyers Found Throughout Northern Indiana Communities Calling for Mass Deportation." Do you think this would have happened if Kamala Harris had won? Obviously not. These people would not feel anywhere near as emboldened. The KKK wouldn't be doing this stuff. I mean, this dude in this class wouldn't have the need to say that. He would probably feel like saying it because he's a piece of shit, but he wouldn't say that because Trump wouldn't have power. But this reads, "Some Indiana neighborhoods were met with eye-opening flyers Monday morning and Sunday night. Ku Klux Klan flyers were found in Goshen earlier Monday calling for the mass deportation of immigrants." That's not my hometown. I'm from Valparaiso. We'll get to that. This says, "Kentucky-based Trinity White Knights of the KKK claimed responsibility for distributing the flyers. People in several communities were startled to see the flyers, especially in a diverse community like Goshen." And it's interesting because going back to Indiana, the area that I'm from, there are multiple Confederate flags all next to this big Trump sign that this house has, and it's just insane. Again, these people feel emboldened to act on their worst urges. Quote, "It was disturbing, and we walked the dogs afterwards, and these flyers were just scattered all over the road," said Phil Waite, who lives in Goshen. The good thing is, a lot of these citizens seem to also be equally as disturbed. Watch this quick clip.
The flyers were first seen in Goshen Sunday evening, and even around noon today, I found more scattered throughout the neighborhood. Phil Waite found a few yesterday.
Like to have flyers like this in the open and targeted in this kind of way. You know, this kind of sentiment's out there. I know it's out there. I know there are people who feel this way, so that's not surprising. But it's just really shocking to have it come to your doorstep.
It's shocking, and he hits on a point right there. It's open. We know it's open, but we're about to see a lot more of that. For another close-to-home example, close to home in a different sense, I posted a photo of my great-grandmother who immigrated from Syria 20 to 30 years back, and she voted in this election. She's been a citizen since 2008. She passed a citizenship test, and she's been able to vote. So I posted this photo of my grandma and her hijab, my sweet old grandma, and then all of the comments were saying, I can't wait until Trump deports your grandma. I can't wait until she gets the hell out of there. I mean, I showed it in a video a few weeks back, but I had to delete the post because after Trump won, the comments didn't stop. The comments got worse, and they were saying, oh, your grandma's done for now. It's just vile, vile stuff.
And these flyers are not just specific to Goshen, but also 25 miles away in South Bend.
Somebody's trash broke open, so I went to go pick it up, and I noticed that it truly was trash. It had these flyers that
truly was trash. Now, the Goshen mayor said, to our Goshen community, this past weekend, some Goshen residents have discovered racist recruitment flyers from a Kentucky-based chapter of the KKK littered on their lawns. These flyers, intended to spread fear and division, urged residents to spy on their neighbors and report them to authorities. Okay, so I've given you guys a bunch of examples, not only the college class, not only my personal stories, but also this. It says the cities also received flyers were Valparaiso, Michigan City, South Bend, Elkhart, Goshen, Plymouth, Warsaw, Rochester, blah, 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 but Valparaiso is the city that I grew up in. And here's the thing. When Donald Trump is constantly using this apocalyptic rhetoric on the campaign trail, saying that rapists are coming over, murderers are coming over, they're poisoning the blood of our country is a dumping ground, and they're destroying it, then of course people are going to be discriminatory, but it's even beyond that. I mean, I bet a lot of Americans have this deeply embedded fear of immigrants or of anybody else who looks differently than them just because they've been socialized to be that way, but Donald Trump brings out that deeply embedded racism or fear and makes people just openly racist. I mean, the day after Trump won, Twitter was just full of people saying slurs, racist slurs, slurs against disabled people, just openly being vile in a way that wouldn't have happened 5 years ago. And listen, we can even concede there may have been a little bit of an overcorrection. Maybe there are people online who are a little bit too correct, let's say. Do some people feel like they're always walking on eggshells? Yes, but that is different from just being a vile person who's using slurs all the time. And to wrap it back to this, all of these people with this deeply embedded racism, it's now turning into this, where KKK members can openly recruit them by saying, leave now. Proclamation, mass deportation, January 20th, 2025. We need your help. Monitor and track all immigrants. Report them all. Avoid deportation. Trinity, White Knights of the Ku Klux Klan. It says, for more information and an application, please send a return address, stamped envelope to, and then it cuts out the address there, but wow, now, proclamation. And this is supposed to be Uncle Sam kicking out immigrants when America's a cultural melting pot. You know, I'll leave it at that. Drop a like, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching and peace out.